Okay, then...
I didn't say they were the cops. I was pretty clear it was Bill Clinton.
Okay.
Why was it Bill Clinton?
The Epstein Files have gone viral worldwide again, and American Democrats, along with their global liberal media allies, including much of the Philippine media, are working overtime to tie President Trump to Jeffrey Epstein. But the truth is, it was the Democrats and their elite donors who tried to cover up Epstein nearly a decade ago.
I've had the story for 3 years. I've had this interview with Virginia Roberts. We would not put it on the air.
Remember 2019? When Project Veritas leaked footage of ABC correspondent Amy Robach caught on a hot mic saying that her liberal network, one that has repeatedly pushed fake news against Trump, quashed her Jeffrey Epstein bombshell?
First of all, I was told, who's Jeffrey Epstein? No one knows who that is. This is a stupid story. Then the palace found out that we had her whole allegations about Prince Andrew and threatened us a million different ways. We were so afraid we wouldn't be able to interview Kate and Will that also quashed the story.
In other words, ABC, a major liberal network, actively covered up the Epstein scandal.
Of DNC staffer Seth Rich, who was murdered last summer. A federal investigator telling Fox News that an FBI forensic report of Rich's computer showed he made contact with WikiLeaks through a former reporter and London-based WikiLeaks director, Gavin McFadden. The investigator told Fox News Rich provided McFadden with more than 44,000 emails, nearly 18,000 attachments.
Years earlier, on October 7, 2016, in what seemed like an October surprise just weeks before that year's presidential election, WikiLeaks began releasing the Podesta emails. These emails brought attention to the controversy later dubbed Pizzagate, which connected certain Democratic figures, including Hillary Clinton. John Podesta, a prominent Democratic insider, was Clinton's campaign chairman during her presidential run. The emails contained claims that some of America's Democratic elites were involved in disturbing activities, including allegations of sexual misconduct and pedophilia.
This is insane.
So many people in the mainstream media have said Pizzagate is conspiracy theory. Pizzagate has been debunked. It has not been debunked. If it's been debunked, explain the code words. No one to this day, including John Podesta himself, can explain the code words in his emails.
Hey, John Podesta, can you please explain why you have children rented for entertainment for your adult hot tub parties? No one has ever explained why John Podesta has literal pedophile and cannibalism paintings all over his office and his home.
According to the newly released files, even liberal actor George Clooney, who has publicly expressed his hatred for Trump, allegedly hunted for underage girls with Epstein in Europe. It sheds light on why Hollywood elites despise Trump, because through his policies, he disrupted their access to illegal activities and networks, especially through stricter immigration enforcement.
Where do they get the children? Where do all these children come from? Well, it has a lot to do with illegal immigration.
Under Biden, U.S. borders were opened wide, resulting in the disappearance of over 300,000 children. Where did these children go? We still don't know.
What I'm alarmed by is the over 300,000 children that went missing during the Biden administration. And when we talk about children and
during the Biden administration, HHS became a collaborator in child trafficking and for sex and for slavery. And we have ended that, and we're very aggressively going out and trying to find these children, 300,000 children that were lost.
And it's no coincidence that both big tech and America's and the world's liberal media have covered it up.
My God. Could it be any clearer that John Podesta and his brother are running a family-owned child sex ring? What else would love to get a pizza mean? That was the famous Pizzagate conspiracy. When people were so obsessed with finding evidence of sex trafficking, they built a whole code book and applied it to those emails.
Dismissing anyone who asks as a conspiracy theorist.
Public place, you did it. Is this the best or the worst? What do you do?
The best.
Okay, the best? Probably the Obama thing.
John! What's it? Oh, God.
Oh, God.
John?
The latest Epstein Files dump this year makes one thing clear. Pizzagate and Epstein are connected.
Epstein is Pizzagate. Let that sink in for a minute. Jeffrey Epstein is Pizzagate. 10 years ago, Pizzagate was by far the #1 trending topic on Twitter. But the claim of pedophile elites who preyed on children was so insane that Pizzagate was shrugged off as a wild fever dream of a conspiracy theory.
Epstein himself emailed a Podesta WikiLeaks link to his in-house accountant, Richard Kahn, one of his co-executors after his death in 2019. Kahn, according to the released documents, was accused of direct involvement in Epstein's sex trafficking operations. Epstein also shared Podesta emails with other associates in 2016, as if trying to warn them.
So not only did the mainstream media lie to you about Pizzagate, they actually told you that it was illegal to read John Podesta's emails on WikiLeaks. Chris Cuomo, with a straight face on CNN, looked into the cameras and said, it's illegal for you to read John Podesta's emails.
Also interesting is, remember, it's illegal to possess these stolen documents. It's different for the media. So everything you learn about this, you're learning from us.
Democrats and their elite donors successfully suppressed the Pizzagate scandal, silenced journalists, and labeled those who exposed it as crazy conspiracy theorists.
I think it's interesting when you look on the internet and you see the bigotry on the internet and the people who have been, these conspiracy theories about QAnon and about Jeffrey Epstein. There's a picture on.
In 2020, for example, Don Lemon and Anderson Cooper attempted to dismiss Epstein and Pizzagate whistleblowers, calling them bigots and conspiracists.
People who actually believe it. And people say, well, not all Trump supporters are bigots or racists. Okay, fine, you can believe that. But when I look at all the people who put things like that on the internet, 99 times out of 100, it is a Trump supporter. So
why do these liberal sycophants work so hard to cover up Epstein and Pizzagate? Because their Democratic overlords and global cohorts were complicit. Evidence of this cover-up is clear. Democrats did nothing to release the files during Biden's 4 years in office. Why? Because Trump wasn't implicated, and they knew it.
What is in the files is so bad that the Democrats, for 4 years, when they had control of this committee, didn't release a single document, didn't call a single witness, didn't make any motion. In fact, for those 4 years, go back and look. Did they ever say anything about Epstein? No, they didn't.
Now that Trump is back in office, Democrats tried to weaponize the Epstein files against him. But the latest release of 3 million files did the opposite.
Is unsavory, and it's not good.
Is that new information that he knew Jeffrey Epstein? Is it new information that Trump excommunicated him from Mar-a-Lago? Is it the only new information that we got this week off those emails was that somebody from the New York Times was advising Jeffrey Epstein, and we learned tonight from the Washington Post that Jeffrey Epstein was programming Democratic members of Congress. We didn't learn anything we didn't already know about Donald Trump, which was Jeffrey Epstein hated Donald Trump, and now Democrats are aligning themselves with Jeffrey Epstein because Orange Man bad.
It exposed collusion between Democrats and Epstein, who himself had called Trump dangerous. Even Trump publicly said this was a conspiracy against him.
I think it's really time for the country to get onto something else, really. And now that nothing came out about me, other than it was a conspiracy against me, literally, by Epstein and other people.
The new files also reveal Stacey Plaskett, a Democratic congresswoman from the U.S. Virgin Islands, just about 2 miles from Epstein's island, receiving real-time guidance via text from Epstein on how to target Trump during a 2019 congressional hearing.
As reports say, Stacey Plaskett from the U.S. Virgin Islands was texting Jeffrey Epstein during a 2019 congressional hearing, discussing a line of questions to try to take down President Trump. Our senior foreign policy correspondent, Jillian Turner, is at the White House, and she has got the latest on this angle. Jillian.
Good afternoon to you, John. We're getting new information, new details about Jeffrey Epstein's relationship with this Democratic lawmaker who it appears he had significant influence over back during the first Trump term. You might remember last week House Oversight released this tranche of about 20,000 pages of Jeffrey Epstein communications. In there are messages between Epstein and this lawmaker. Washington Post is reporting first today that it is Delegate Stacey Plaskett, she's a Democrat from the U.S. Virgin Islands. She was caught texting with Epstein during this 2019 congressional hearing.
It has now been revealed that Plaskett received tens of thousands of dollars in donations from Epstein and also reportedly agreed to meet him on his island. That's a Democrat allegedly attempting to collude with Epstein to target Trump, and also agreeing to visit his notorious island.
Didn't ask Merrick Garland anything about Epstein, not once.
Now, we all know the Democrats didn't release the files when their puppet, Biden, was in office because there was no connection to Trump.
We actually brought a motion for unanimous consent the other day to bring up all the Epstein files, and guess who objected on the House floor? It was Democrats.
Had any link existed, they would have released the files years ago. Latest revelations also show that Trump didn't just ban Epstein from Mar-a-Lago in 2004. He reported him to authorities in 2005 and cooperated with Epstein's victim's lawyer in 2009. Eventually, liberal ABC was forced to air this story.
This morning, a new document coming to light claims in the mid-2000s, President Trump called police about Jeffrey Epstein. Among the 3 million Epstein files released by the Department of Justice last month is a 4-page FBI report on an interview the Bureau conducted in 2019 with the man believed to be former Palm Beach Police Chief Michael Ryder.
What shocked both Democrats and Trump supporters was the confirmation that Trump was, at one point, an FBI asset or informant, according to Speaker Mike Johnson.
And he's not saying that what Epstein did is a hoax. It's a terrible, unspeakable evil. He believes that himself. When he first heard the rumor, he kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago. He was an FBI informant to try to take this stuff down. The president knows and has great sympathy for the women who suffered these unspeakable harms.
Even CNN was forced to report the truth.
Breaking news, the Wall Street Journal is out with a new report describing the fallout between President Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. The Journal reports that a spa worker from Mar-a-Lago often made house calls to Jeffrey Epstein's home, 2 miles away. But those house calls, quote, came to a halt in 2003 after an 18-year-old beautician returned to the club from a house call to Epstein and reported to managers that he had pressured her for sex. The HR manager faxed Trump a letter suggesting that the club ban Epstein, and Trump agreed, which does mirror the president's own public comments about why he cut ties with Epstein.